everyone, welcome to Gadget Talk. I'm so happy that the chat room's already popping. So we got Tom Brotherman on here already. Eric from Massachusetts is in here. I don't think I've seen you in here, Eric. I'm glad to have you on here. We're in a group, all of us three here are in a group together for gadgets, and it's really cool. Love seeing what you've got there. Audie Olson coming in from Kansas. Bella Move here from California. Gary down here in Greenville where it's about to rain. DJW House is in here. Let's hear the Pizza Ninja's in with us tonight. Of course, he's eating pizza. Is that land of amazing earth caches and chicken wings? And you put pizza
I don't see pizza in there. Yeah.
All right. Mini Mag is joining us from California. The Happy Hodag, Ed Mulligan, and Tricaches. So got a lot of great gadget builders in tonight. Really a lot of fun. And my signal's coming in and out right now because of the weather we have going on here. So if I fuzz out, that's what's going on. I just want to give you a heads up because I see that my signal just dropped as we're doing this. So I don't know what it looks like. It looks good on my side, but it may not.
It's good now.
Okay. All right. So Chad, tell me, so what do we got going?
Well, we have, what we're going to do is I did some concept builds or a concept build of the cache we talked about last week for the Lamppost.
Right.
So we're going to take a look at that. It's kind of funny after I got done building it like an hour ago. I don't want to say I started building this at like 1, but anyway, I actually thought about changing the way I would build it, and I'll go over that kind of too. But
okay,
yes, we're just going to go over that.
I mean, that's always how it goes. When we start building, and then you look at the concept that you originally had, it's like, I bet I could do this way too. So, but before we get into that, let's go ahead and take care of our sponsors, and then there is a minor announcement about Cache Fest that I need to do. So let's go ahead and take care of our sponsor. Sorry, I just heard a siren coming down, so I'm just waiting for my power to go out. All right, here we go. If you have not become a patron of the Geocache Talk Network, what are you waiting for? Patron levels start as low as a Bison Tube level at $3 a month. To sign up is easy. Simply go to the Geocache Talk website and click on the Become a Patron button, or go to patreon.com/Geocache Talk. Patrons now get the famous Blackout coin, invites to special events, and other really great items throughout the year. Become a patron today.
Logwork, the creators of the fantastic logbook, made with genuine Write-in-the-Rain paper. The logbook's designed for the micro-containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who'd rather go caching than doing cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's LOGWERK.com.
Have you subscribed to FTF Magazine yet? FTF Magazine is the #1 geocaching magazine available. It is a quarterly magazine that you can be part of. Submit your geocaching milestones and adventures to be published. FTF Magazine is also interactive with puzzles to solve and the hunt to find Spartacus. If you can solve the puzzle or find Spartacus, then you will be entered in to win a special pack tag. Every new subscription, you will receive a special swag pack. Subscribing is easy. Just visit FTF's website, ftfgeo.com. Don't miss out and subscribe today. All right, so real quick, before we get into Chad's build on with this concept of a gadget LPC, which I'm really looking forward to this. We talked about it, went through some ideas last week, but I'm really looking forward to it. I want to give you a code. This is a discount code for Cache Fest, and it's from Shelby Farms. And the boat or bike rentals on Shelby Farms for that weekend, if you use Cache22, so that's CACHE 22, you'll get a 20% discount on those items. And you can go onto their website to go and log that as well. So when you purchase it online or you reserve it online, put in that code and you'll get 20% off of the boat and bike rentals for the weekend. So
that's a great deal. You know,
it is.
I don't know if people know, but Shelby's Farms has the lakes on it. You can paddle boat right in or canoe, and then you have the bikes that you could ride around the park. So I think that's a great deal.
Yeah. That's a really great deal.
That's what I'm going to need. Well, they have golf carts,
kayaks, and they have the paddle boards that you can do on the lake.
That's cool.
So,
good deal. Okay, well, Lamppost caches. So, we'll have to continue this on a little bit next week because I actually have some ideas that kind of popped into my head today. And I really want to cover some other types of caches that anybody could put up, LPCs. This one here that we talked about last week is a little bit harder for your ordinary person to put in because you're replacing a plate on the electrical plate on the lamppost. So I have a couple ideas that anybody could do that would be really creative caches.
Okay.
But to start this off, everybody saw last week my concept build here for the cache. I changed it up a little bit. I actually ended up going by and grabbing one of the plates. I'll cover up that sticker. But and it was completely different size than this. I was guessing. So I ended up remaking the size so it actually covers exactly. It's exact as the plate. So
Right.
it will
And
fit on
to
nicely.
show this is where
Yes.
that's going to go. That's
Exactly.
the concept of where that's going to go on here.
Yes, exactly. So it's going to go on there. The area it's going to go on is probably the pole's a little bit nicer than that one there, but I need to weather the front of the plate a little bit like that so that it kind of matches.
Right.
So what I end up coming up with, and I actually originally I built this out of acrylic because everybody knows I love acrylic. It's easy to make stuff out of and weld together and make it nice and solid, and it paints very nicely. So I made it out of acrylic. Originally, I left it clear so I could show everybody how I built it, but then I decided, no, I want to paint it. So I ended up painting it. So this is what I came up with. Now, a few things I don't like about this is originally I was not going to have a hinge on here. I was going to have the whole plate pop forward, but it made it too thick. And I didn't like how you could see the hinge. I definitely don't like how you can see the hinge here. But today when I was building, I was like, well, most people aren't going to see that when they're walking by a lamppost. So I think it will be okay. But my concept, what I came up with an idea is to change that so you actually don't see the hinge at all. And it'd actually work underneath the lamppost too as well. But it's fairly simple. I made it so it doesn't need any electronics. You just use a magnet. So this has one of those child locks on it.
Okay.
You just need to bring a tot, and so you can't open it at all. You just need the tot. Let me see here. There we go. To open it up, and it opens up in there. So really simple. It's big enough. It's 2 inches deep.
And that one's going to be more weather tight, especially with it being acrylic.
Yes, I did a 5% grade on the bottom or slope out on the bottom of it here, just so if water does get in, it'll go right out. But it's very, very simple. You shut it and you can't open it up. Now, I would love to do it where you don't see the hinge, and I will next week. So one of my thoughts is if you don't even have to use the hinge, if you actually had a lip that tucked behind the piece of acrylic, and then this locked in, the whole door would pop off. Hopefully it wouldn't disappear, but the whole door would pop off. You can actually make a little drawer that would pop out and you can put it back in. But I don't know if anybody will see this. This one I actually will stick out to go live. I might actually stick it out tomorrow. So if I do, we will share the GC code if you guys want to watch it and see how it goes. So I will share it on our Instagram, or however we'll have John share it on the website, or however he shares the media guy. But
and that's the Pizza Ninja.
Yeah, Pizza Ninja. So anyway, that's it. So this is an exact size replica of the other one. I just got to scratch it up and put some other paint on it, and just make it look like it's not brand new. But that's one that's really fun, creative.
That looks really good. I like that. And plus now, because we were talking about how it would pop off before, we're talking about a thickness issue. Now that one, you definitely don't have the thickness issue because it's all one piece.
Correct. Yeah. So no water is going to get in between the door and the piece. They're really close to the same thickness. I think one is 3 mil and one is 4 mil. As far as this, but I think it's fair. It's close enough. Of course, I have security screws that go on here, so you can't take it off. I left enough room on it too, as well.
Right. And you don't have to worry about getting shocked or anything like that either.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't want anybody getting in there or doing anything where it may happen. So this will be very simple. Take off those 2 screws, put it on. It'll be good to go. So
now, let me ask this: are you going to put a sticker on that one like you do on all your other caches? Are you going to put the gadget?
I don't know if I'm going to. I thought about that. In fact, I was going to do a slight engrave on it and then paint it so you'd slightly see like the engraving of a geocache. But I don't know. I have little tiny stickers. I kind of want to see how it goes. I want it to be kind of a surprise. I want somebody to get there and be right. In fact, I might stick a bison underneath and be like, not the cache, or something like that.
Nope, this isn't it. Continue looking.
So close.
Now it'd be kind of cool because that paint, if you had a flat version of the same paint and then you did a stencil and you airbrushed it or just the same color, that'd be a slight. You have a gloss and then you have your flat on there.
That would look really cool. That's a good idea, actually.
That might be a way that you could have the geocaching in there. So Eric is saying, I have one with a hidden cabinet hinge on a door cover. Now I was kind of thinking that too. What if you had the hinge on the inside of it and it opened this way, so it'd be hidden?
I probably could. You would see you'd have to put a V or some kind of gap in here. But you probably could. Like I said, I built it last minute, and I was like, well, trying to think of other ways to do it that's going to be easier. So this is the way I made it. One thing I thought about using is I have hinges that are sprung, so they shut themselves.
Right.
On it. But I thought, because it does have to open, I think that the magnet doesn't really pull it open very easy. I think that it wouldn't ever open if you had that spring on it, because it's a pretty strong spring.
Right.
But yeah, I think there are ways you can hide the hinge. I didn't do it this time. But next week I'll have a different option to where you won't see the hinge on it.
I still love that. I love the way it looks. I love the paint. It doesn't, it's acrylic, but you don't think it's acrylic. It looks metal. So this is really great, which is going to throw people off somewhat, because they're going to go, well, why, if I run a magnet over this, it's just going to stick to the entire thing. How's this going to work? And it's not. So,
right. Yeah. So I think it's going to go good. I'll put it up and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
And I can change it up, do a couple different things. So the other thing I thought that this would be good at is, and I should have cut one, is if you didn't do the front for the plate, but you just did a square front, so it was a box like this. If you had a couple little slits in the back that you could run a big giant zip tie around underneath the lamp skirt, then it could be a cache that sits underneath the lamp skirt, just like this. Wouldn't matter if it was painted or had a hinge. You'd have to lift up the cache skirt and then use a magnet on it to actually open it up. So it would actually be under the lamp skirt. Anybody could do it. You're not interfering with a lamp post or taking anything apart at all. You would just want to do a couple of slots on the back here on each side to run the zip tie or a big hose clamp or something through it. Because you need it to have it secure so it doesn't walk away.
Right. Now, did you cut that on the Glowforge or did you cut that on your CNC machine?
Glowforge.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was too small of a project to fire up the CNC. So,
okay. I love that. I love that. It's a simple gadget, simple tot. Using the kid, the baby latch. Okay, so Seabiscuit Tribe is saying, I need to expand notifications so I know when it is published. Oh, my 25-mile radius from across the pond, aka Puget Sound, from Bounce area, just isn't going to work. So yeah,
she's over here a lot though.
South. Yeah, okay,
she's over this way a lot, but yeah, she's across the pond. So you have to actually go around the sound to get to her where she's at. So she's by a lot of the goblin dust caches. So she gets to see to see really good ones.
I kind of know the area because my in-laws used to live over across the Puget Sound right there. I can't think of the area.
Gig Harbor.
Gig Harbor. Yes, they lived in Gig Harbor. Thank you. Over there. So I've been there a couple times. They're now not there anymore. But yeah, so that's really cool.
Yeah, you keep driving another hour or so, I think, at Seebeck, where Seebeck Tribe is. Maybe not quite an hour, but it's through Gig Harbor that exact way. So that is the one I came up with. Like I said, I can do it without the hinge. That I think you'd only see the cutout part of it. And so I think that'd be less noticeable. After I made it, the hinge is really getting me, but I don't think anybody would notice it.
No. Let us know in the chat. What do you think of the hinge? Do you think it would be noticeable? Or what do you think of how would you hide it? So let us know in the chat, put it in the chat and let us know. And we'll bring it up. All right. So we got, seeing a couple other people that have jumped in, earlier here as well. Sparky's joined us tonight. And then we got Darren down in Australia joined us. And I just saw Hugh McLeod just jumped in here as well. And GC, DSK11 from Medicine Hat has jumped in and joined us tonight. So really thank you for joining us tonight. And this is all right, Chad. You got anything else or what we're looking at on the next one?
So one thing to show how I mounted this, the child latch. So these, obviously they're made to stick through a door, which is typically 3/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. And so this part here sticks out quite a bit. Well, if I put it right on the door, you'd poke through, you would see it. So what I ended up doing was cutting some shims that I just left the cover on the acrylic here for it. I ended up cutting some shims. Camera? Sure. All kinds of stuff here. So I ended up cutting some shims for this to fit in, and I end up using 2 of them and just pressing it on there and then gluing the shims together and this to it. And then that's how I got my distance for the latch system here that you can see. So, and then on this side here, I should have left it clear like my original plan was, is I just stuck a piece of acrylic there for the latch to catch on. Honestly, it was just a piece of scrap out of my drawer. I stuck in there, glued it on, and it's not going to come out anywhere or come off. You'll have to break the whole thing. So it just latches very simple, and there's not really any play in it. So
that's really, really good. Now, before anybody asks, acrylic weld on is what Chad used to do that. And there's a shot of it right there. He's using number 3. I've used number 4. This is some of the greatest stuff in the world. I've used this to fix appliances in my house that have saved me money by doing it for so get some of the acrylic weld on. It'll be really great. Got some answers here. So Tom says, I don't think most people pay attention to lampposts. And Eric says, non-geocachers wouldn't even look twice. And that's very true. So I don't think you're going to have to worry about the hinges. I mean, that's us. And we're hiding it for geocachers anyways. And that's the thing. They're going to, what's going to happen? The first thing that they're going to do when they come up to the lamppost, they're going to lift the skirt. Right. And they're going to go, then they're going to say, DNF, it's not here. And you're going to go, look again. So,
yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely.
What kind of rating would you give this? That's another question because it's not.
I'm not good at ratings. I am the worst at rating stuff. Let's ask the listeners.
So in the chat, I want to know, what would you put this as a rating? Because this is not a typical lamppost. Because I mean, as we all know, typical lamppost, we lift the skirt and there it is. So this is hidden in plain sight on a lamppost, but it's not in the typical place. So what kind of rating, what difficulty rating would you give this? So I'd like to know. Pizza Ninja says,
also does
I think
requiring
the does give a good suggestion or where the cacher should interact with. So
So Quincy, just to explain, yeah. So this goes. Maybe Derek can pull up the photo of where it goes. So on the lamppost, you have the electrical access panel, just right above the skirt, typically. And so I took the cover off of the one we have, and I'm replacing it with this cache. So it will sit in there. You're not going to be close to any wires or anything like that. And so it's going to be very safe. So, but it'll be an LPC cache, and I don't know what to name it, LPC or something like that, or I don't know, just another LPC. I don't know. But anyway, so it's going to go on there, and it'll be pretty simple. Right. One thing I was thinking is, if you require a tot, does that change the rating? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's a great question. So all right, so we're getting some in here, some ratings coming in.
If anybody has a good idea for a name of it,
or 2.5. Tom is saying no less than a 3.5 difficulty, 1.5 terrain. Sparky is saying a 2.5. Hint: if at skirt you don't succeed, try again. Is a hint for you. Punny is what must be nice that acrylic won't expand, contract like wood. May need to look into that. Yeah, Eric, acrylic's really great for doing stuff out doing like that. So, Jaron said, call it not your average LPC.
I like that.
And then Tom says he gave it a little higher rating difficulty because you need a tot. Now, I also like, and before anybody asks, how would you get permission to put that on there? How's Chad getting permission? It's on a property that you own or that you take care of, or both?
I manage the commercial property.
So that's how he's gotten permission for it, because he asked himself. So
did someone ask that in there?
No, I just wanted to head off the question before we got to it, because we had that whole discussion last week.
Yeah. On
it. Well, how would I get permission? And so there's
ask permission though.
Always ask permission. GC SK11 says we had a cacher here. Everything was a 1.5, 1.5. So I would, and then Pizza Ninja says, yeah, you should put a decoy pill bottle under the skirt. And I've seen that. And then maybe, or an Altoid saying, or just a sign that when they open it up, it says, no, not here. Continue looking.
Oh, so you know what's funny is I have cases of pill bottles, a bunch of brand new ones. And I actually thought about doing a big box of just pill bottles with paper in them. And you got to find the right one for the log. Yeah,
I've seen
those. I know a lot of people have done stuff like that. So, but I thought it would be kind of fun. Not for me to do, of course, but for someone else to do.
Eric says a 3-1 if you don't mention needing a magnet.
Yeah, I think I have to mention the tot because I don't know. Several of mine need a tot, and if you don't mention it, then I get emails or messages or phone calls like crazy.
Right. Just Finding Our Way says, I wouldn't do the decoy because people will start adding a log to the decoy.
Yeah, I thought about that too as well.
Yeah, I did too. A confirmation from the chat. We thought of it. We just didn't say it out loud. But,
yeah, I always think about people dropping. Yeah, I've had that happen several times where someone drops.
Throwdowns.
Yeah, do some throwdowns, and it's frustrating. But yeah, no, that's good to know.
Yeah, I think it personally. I think maybe a 2.5. If it's wheelchair accessible, would be a 1. So it might be kind of fun.
You know what's funny is I do have some lampposts on that property that would qualify as a 1 that you could roll right up to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not where I was going to put this because that would be in the front and everybody would see you.
Right.
I want to put it in the back. So, but yeah. I usually also hide a magnet or a tot somewhere there as well. Just because there's a lot of people that show up and they don't bring tots. And so I want you to find it. And I don't want you to try and force yourself into it because you forgot your tot. But
right. So you could call it Magneto's LPC layer.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay. And then Quincy says, put a red plastic fish, red herring, with nope written on it.
I could probably print one of those up tonight. Yeah, so there's all kinds of options on that, and I think they're all great. I like the Magneto's LPC layer. Kind of gives a hint in the title there of what you need. Lots of good ideas on that. So I will next week make the one without the hinge, and probably make it so anybody could place it underneath the lamp skirt itself, just to show how it would end up working. So that's one of my ideas I made. My other one, because we kind of talked about it real quick, is I would like to put a lamppost hide out in the woods, an LPC hide, right? So I actually made one here.
And that kind of goes back up here to a comment that Audis mentioned. He says, I was thinking of a gadget cache with a miniature lamp pole inside when I first saw this, not an actual LP lamppost.
Yeah. So I made this, and it actually is hollow, so you could actually put here. Let's go to my build cam here. It might be easier.
Okay.
You can actually put in. It's actually hollow, so you could actually run an LED up through here. But I did not, just because I wouldn't want to give anything away or have it only light up at night. The only time you'd see it, and then batteries or solar would just be an issue. And if this disappeared, this doesn't really cost anything. But I think this would be fun to stick somewhere in the ground, in the middle of the woods somewhere, not in the ground, so it's not buried on the ground. And then you just open up the bottom of it. And there's your log, right? So I made it so it opens up through the bottom, so water won't drip down through the threads. And then this is all glued together and everything. Now, I have an idea for one. Actually, my wife came up with it that I might make for next week. That will be even better than this. I also considered making this about twice as tall as what it is. But I think this is kind of cute. I think it's kind of fun.
So which parts of that are 3D printed and which ones aren't?
Just the pole. And then the rest is just basic PVC pipe. So you just have an 1.5 inch cap, threaded cap.
Okay.
1.25 inch threaded cap. You can do whatever size you want. 1.25 inch threaded male or female adapter, right? To the 1.25 inch pipe, and then I just have a plug in it. There's all kinds of ways you can make it. I just happen to have this in my drawer. This was a cache I actually tried to put out this thing here when I first started caching. I looked at this today back in 2015. That didn't get approved because there was a multi that was too close. But anyway, I think these are really fun. So I would love to put this out somewhere, and I'm not much of finding one in the woods somewhere, but I have plenty of woods around my house to stick one. So anyway, really easy to do. It took an hour to print the lamp post. So it would be a very inexpensive, fun cache. I'd give it a favorite.
Now, did you use supports when you printed the lamp post, or did you do it laying on its side?
No, it's in two pieces. I glued it together.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if you can see down the center. There's a line. So it's printed in two pieces. You mirror it. So there's a seam. Okay. Glue it together. So yeah.
Okay.
Really, really simple. So that's another one that I thought I might end up putting out somewhere. I thought that'd be fun.
That is fun. And I was looking at this. Engineer 42 says the little lamp needs to blink out a code for a multi when triggered. That would be kind of cool. And then Sparky says we have a guy that uses railroad model lampposts and hides them in a bush. Kind of evil. Yeah, those are small. I was looking at some of those there. Sparky says also attached to a bison. Oh, so the little lamppost is attached to a bison. So they're just sitting there in the bison and attached lamppost LPC. Now that would be kind of funny. Instead of a bison, maybe using like a preform, and to the cap you weld it on there, and you have it in a tree, just sitting there, maybe in like one, if you can find a good V of a tree where it'd sit in, and it'd be an LPC in there. That would be another one, little one. Yeah, like taking that preform and using the weld on, and then seal it.
Just through the cap, or would you go through this way? Sorry, I thought you were on the build cam.
I pulled it out, but I would go through. I don't know. It depends on the lamppost. I would probably do it in the cap.
Yeah, I'd probably do it in the cap too, and then just make sure you silicone around it. And yeah, that's probably what I would end up doing. And you could probably find a place to stick it in, just for it to sit in the woods. Yeah, it's a good idea. I was just trying to think of something big and heavy that would just sit there, and something I had easy enough to grab out of my drawer real quick.
Yeah, so I'm just, like I said, just kind of thinking as you're doing that, just kind of looking at different ones. So,
okay, so Pizza Ninja, okay, that's a really good idea. Said that it'd be cool to put in a mini parking lot near a gnome house. We have over here a giant gnome trail, and literally from the beginning, there's gnomes every 6 inches almost going through the whole trail. It would be fun to actually put that in there. It's actually a really cool community thing that I can't believe people haven't done any vandalizing to it or stolen anything. So there's only one cache in that whole trail area.
So that would be a fun, make a little lamppost over a gnome, and it'd be funny if you had him actually turning around trying to, like, he's getting into it. If there was one that, like, the gnome that's bent over like they're trying to get into the lamppost, and it's actually in the lamppost, and the little skirt opens up even, and you could actually get it that way.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I might have to. Well, if my wife's listening, she'll want to put it over there. She loves the gnome trail.
Yeah. So Seabeck Tribe says there's a really cool gnome village in Seattle area too. So there might be a couple places that you might be able to use the same one.
That'd be cool. Yeah, and if it disappears, honestly, it wasn't really that much.
No, just print another one.
So, yeah, it's easy enough. So, yeah, that's one of the things when, putting some stuff out, creative things in the woods, that if you spend a lot of money on it, you definitely don't want it to go missing. Not like even if I don't spend a lot of money, I don't want it to go missing, but it's not the end of the world if it does with something like this. It's easy enough to put a new one in.
Yeah. I just thought of something as we're talking about this and it's gone missing, and how I know some people have asked, well, how durable is the PVC board and all that aspect of it. I'm tempted to make one and then take it into my backyard and hit it with a baseball bat, because I know how wood does, but I'm curious what the PVC board does, because people destroying caches all the time. That might be something fun for the channel, either here or behind the cache or whatever, to see what it actually will do. I'm just curious what that would do as well, because I mean, we always talk about how caches go missing and how things are destroyed. Well, let's see what we can find with what's going to be the most durable product out there to maybe keep from that. I mean, locks keep honest people honest, but we'll see. If I've had bats taken to my caches before, so I'm just curious if using PVC board or the trim board is more durable than wood compared to a bat. I'm just curious what it would do. Have you ever thought about that?
I've never thought about taking a bat to it, no, but I'd be curious to see how it is.
Yeah,
I mean, at some point, it doesn't matter what it is. If you take a bat to it,
eventually
you're gonna end up breaking it. Yeah. So, if someone's determined that much to take a bat to it, I don't think they're going to stop until it breaks. But it'd be nice to see what it takes, I guess.
So a lot of people are liking the gnome idea. GCD SK11 says that would be a cool if you gnome what I mean. Kind of doing some play on words there on there as well. So, all right, Chad. So we were talking about some other, I don't know if you covered it, some other ideas as well on the first cache. Do you want to go over some of those ideas?
It was mainly just the one that would go underneath the lamp skirt, as well. So you wouldn't have this plate do a couple slits in the backside of it
Right. Okay.
here
Yeah.
for the thing
Yep.
to go on. And then the other idea was not to do the hinge and to actually have it tuck behind itself. Let's see if I have a couple. I could always, I guess, cut a couple up.
Right. And then also on that, how would you, because I know last week we also mentioned about having an electric one where so you'd have a wire come up and they'd have to find a button underneath it. How would you do that in that one?
So on this one, if I was going to do the latch on this one here, whoops, it would just be on the side that's going to pop open. This would be a little bit longer in the back, or you'd have to have a hole here for the latch to stick out of, and then just run a 12-volt battery. A small one. Actually, I'd probably end up making this bigger with a fake compartment covering part of the battery, and use a small 12-volt like this on it, so it would almost fit into the fake compartment of it, and then run the switch all the way down, the momentary switch to underneath the lamppost. I mean, that was my original thought on it.
Right.
I know you can get those in like a 5-volt, so you could run some AA's or whatever on it as well, which would be a lot smaller than the 12-volt. But that was my thought. But I kind of was thinking about it, and I'm like, well, I kind of want to make something that anybody could do and something that's really simple to do. So I guess I could have made a couple different ones, but so I thought I'll just use a magnet. I actually haven't done anything with these kids' magnets or lock magnets or childproof lake magnets, whatever you call them, at all. So I probably should send you a link to put to the show in case anybody wants.
Go ahead and send me the link to that, and I'll get that up there. As you're doing that, I'm going to work on pulling up. Go ahead and get the link so I can get that in there.
Yeah. I mean, that was pretty much my thought. The other one, without using the hinge, I started designing up, but I didn't cut it. But pretty much you'd have a piece that would be hard to, how can I explain that? Let me see if I can come up with something here.
I think I might have found the one that you used. Was it a 20-pack?
Of what?
The child magnet locks?
I don't know. I didn't buy those. So they
trying to find which one is the correct one.
They were left at a property, a whole bunch of them. So
okay, because that one has like a different back on it that I saw with that the tip.
With that tip. Yeah, I mean, if you could find it without the tip and it works, that would work even better. These are just stuff that I had laying around here. So yeah, I don't know if I can cut this up real quick. So
yeah, I'm looking at trying to figure out which ones they are, because I like that one that you have actually. All right, I found one, and I'm gonna grab this one. It looks like it'll work. So this is a cabinet latch. Oh, both of us are in here. This is a cabinet latch for not a cabinet latch, but a magnetic cabinet locks, baby proofing. So I just dropped that in there.
Perfect. Yeah. And so typically I usually put a magnet somewhere like this on a piece of pipe that's by it. I don't know what I would end up doing on this, because I do want to leave a magnet. One of the other things I really like to leave, you could just stick it underneath the lamp skirt, would be a CD-ROM magnet, right? That'd be really strong. That one just happens to have I don't know why it has a zip tie on it. But anyways, if you could just pull out CD-ROM magnets are easy to get if you take one ever apart, and stick it up underneath the lamp post or the skirt itself, assuming that it's metal.
Right.
And that'd just be a great place to leave it taut. So I would recommend leaving one, because I really think that someone will actually try and get into it if you don't.
Right, and that's a great point. Now, what if you had it down there and you secured it so it would actually have like one of the cable lines that come up and you could actually reach it.
You could actually, you could definitely do that. I'm trying to think, I've done one like that somewhere, but I don't know.
It was your key one, wasn't it?
That has a bunch of keys. I actually have one that has a magnet secured to it. I'm not sure which one it is though.
Jump Shark says stick a bulletin board magnet under the lamppost.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. A bulletin board magnet, anything. You just have to make sure it's strong enough, because I have some, and I don't know if this is. So this is an end of a paintbrush that I just drilled a magnet into. Right. And you can actually drill a hole on the other side and put your string through it or your wire or whatever, if you want. But I don't know if it's strong enough to open that. It takes a good sized magnet to actually open that latch up. So I don't know.
How's the CD-ROM one do? Does CD-ROM do it all right?
It does. Let's see if I can grab it. Not as good as the one that comes with it, but it does. I'm gonna have to go through and figure out. I got all kinds of the rare earth magnets. I got magnets galore. So, anyways, I got all kinds of stuff. I have to go through and see. You know, honestly, what these here, you could probably drill a hole through the back of it and put something on it too as well. So, you know, hopefully someone wouldn't take it, but you never know.
Some people may want it more than you do. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I love those ideas. I love that. I really do like the magnet aspect of it. Sparky says a magnetic tip. I soldered a neo magnet into a pipe the other day. Heat demagnetizes them. Lesson learned. So be careful soldering the magnet.
I didn't know that would demagnetize it.
Yeah, so yeah, heat demagnetizes those. So so be aware of that. So maybe you just have to screw it in, use a screw somehow to do that.
Yeah. I would just end up screwing through probably this and sticking this up in there. I have several. Maybe I won't for the first one, and if it disappears, I will for the next one.
So what if you took that and made it look like a fake bolt underneath there?
I could print one that makes it look like a fake bolt and stick it underneath there. That's a good idea.
So
now you're making me have to get stuff ready for next week.
Quincy says, put it in the mouth of the red fish.
The red herring, yeah.
So they have to pull out the red herring and put the red herring to it. So yeah,
JB Weld works good on magnets, but it also, because JB Weld has a metal in it, it actually will start creeping over the magnet as well. I've had that happen on a few of them that I have, to where it ended up getting in the way. But JB Weld works really well on magnets. And I think there's some really fast set JB Weld,
right, too.
So okay. Yeah. Let's see, what else would there be? Not much. I mean, that was pretty much it. We went through this a little bit faster than I wanted to.
That's all right. So but hey, let's do some recap. So we figured out maybe a name for it. What was the name? It was by Pizza Ninja. Let me see if I can go back to Magneto's
secret lair,
LPC
or something like
lair.
That.
All right. And then we also kind of worked out, because I know for us builders, a lot of times it's hard to kind of figure out a rating or a difficulty. And we got from anywhere from a 1.5 up to a 3.5, depending if you tell them if there's a magnet or not. And then if difficulty wise, 1, of course, would be if it's wheelchair accessible, and the other would be probably 1.5. So because it's in a lamppost. So I would personally, I think I would probably do a 1.5 to 2.5, 1.5. So that
I don't
I'd
want to
probably do
change it.
that.
Make it looks like a micro cache. That's kind of cool. Actually, I have some of those little tiny micro ammo cans.
Right.
But I like the bolt idea. I like making it look like a bolt. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I did want to mention that these do come with a latch on the end of them here that I could have screwed in to this to make it latch to it, but then I'd have to drill holes and screw this in. Just gluing a piece of acrylic in there that's never going to come off to me was a lot easier. And then as it was drying or as it was wet, I was able to scoot it, adjust where I want it to be before it hardened. And so that made it nice and tight.
Now, did you put the back on it? Did you put the back all the way on the back so you could actually close it up real easily and figure out where it was at?
Yeah, the back. I always leave the back off until the very end. Usually the back and the bottom I leave off so I can do all the work on the inside. And then I pop those on at the end. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was trying to think, well, how are you adjusting those that we think kind of backwards sometimes, because okay, how can I make sure that this is tight before I get everything in place? So
it's a lesson learned too over time, because there was a time when I did put one together and I'm like, oh, I want to glue this in, and it's like, oh well, how do I know where to set it? So now I know to leave the back and typically the bottom or top or one of the sides off until the very end, until you're ready to seal it up.
Right.
So and then one more thing to mention, and I can put a link in there, is with that glue, because it seems like we always get asked questions on it. And in fact, I had someone ask me this question this week already. I think it was this week. I use the syringes with the tips on them. There's a kit you can buy on Amazon. It's called a glue applicator syringe kit. It comes with, and they're non-pointy, so they're not actually a needle, so you won't poke yourself.
Right.
So it comes with all different size needles, and then a whole bunch of syringes. So, and typically they're made to handle the weld-on product itself a little bit better. A typical syringe, the rubber on this dries out really fast and pops off. And then Weld-On actually makes their own type of syringe. But I think it's like 3 of them for like $20. And these are like, you can get this pack for like $7. So I typically end up going towards getting this pack, but wanted to bring it up since it seems like I always have that question when we talk about the Weld-On. Right.
And what was that pack called again?
It's a glue applicator syringe pack. And there's all different sizes and kinds and stuff. So, if you go to Amazon, I can shoot you over the link too.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah, there's all kinds. You can get many different varieties, and you can even get the squeeze bottles with the pack too as well, which I have several of those. The problem with the squeeze bottle is when you quit squeezing it, it ends up shooting solution out still until you flip it over, until air gets into it. And so I don't like that. With the syringe, you can be really delicate. You can control the amount of flow or glue you're putting out there. So,
okay. And I've dropped in the chat the Weld-On, and then I've also dropped in a link for the glue applicator as well. And I absolutely love using the syringe now. And you got me started on that. It's just so much easier to control than using the bottle that comes with the Weld-On. So yeah, that's a really great way. And then you can always put it back a little bit easier. So
yeah, really I like the syringe applicators. They work the best for me. So anyhow, yeah, if anybody has any other ideas, let me mention it in the chat there.
Yep, kind of looking through. Kitson says finding these caches would make a great video for the LPC talk show. LPC talk.
I could put all kinds of stuff out for the show. If I would have known about it, we could have had all kinds of stuff. But it was a surprise video. So
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, that was a fun time that we had on there for that one, and I believe the next one is in 2033. There will be the next one on Friday, April 1st, 2033. Will be the next LPC talk. So just want to let everybody know that. So put it on your calendars now and be ready for it. So
yeah, they better show up for that.
Yeah, you got plenty of time. You got plenty of time to plan that one.
Yeah.
So
nice.
But I'm, like I said, as we're going through, I've got in the chat, and I'll put them in the description here in a few minutes. Once we off air, I'll get them into the description. But those will be the weld on, the syringes, and the baby, the childproof cabinet latches are all in links in the chat. But I also will put them in the description as well on the video. So be sure if you want to get those, and those are affiliate links to Amazon. So if you do get something, that does help the channel out a little bit. So, and we really do appreciate that.
Yes, we do. Sorry, I was reading the chat there.
No worries.
It's most people that can read and talk at the same time. I can't do that. I can't chew gum and walk at the same time.
So
cool. If anybody wants the file for this lamppost, it's on Thingiverse. Just to let you know, if you just type in lamppost, trying to think here. I think that's what I typed in. It will pop up several of them, and so you can find it in there really easy. I thought about designing my own, and I think I will here for what my wife actually came up with an idea for one that I thought would be really cool. But yeah, if you just type in lamppost, it will come up as or parking lot pole light, one of those. It'll pop up in there. So yeah, good place to look for ideas is in Thingiverse. There's several other ones as well. And then if you make something like this, we should post it in the 3D printing for geocaching as well. Just
that would be a good
give
place.
An idea out there for everybody.
That would be a good place. So, all right, Chad, I think we've kind of gone through this one. I'm looking forward to next week to see the different modifications that you are going to have on some of these. And I think this is really great, doing an LPC gadget, doing this aspect, and just a lot of fun. So I really do want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. And hey, we're cutting you out of here a little bit early, but hey, that's all right. So, but just let us know what you think. Leave us a comment down below. And we thank you for joining us. Thanks for being part of Gadget Talk tonight. Don't forget, this Sunday will be a regular. Actually, it's called GeoCoin Talk this weekend. So we're kind of seeing if there's anything
GeoCoin
out there.
Talk.
Yeah, GeoCoin. Gary, and it's actually going to be Gary and myself. We're going to be talking about geocoins. So that's this Sunday. So check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to just kind of working out some ideas what we're going to do with it. But we're just kind of seeing what's out there and just kind of talk about geocoins. So I know recently I've gotten to be part of a couple of teams of designing some coins, and it's been a lot of fun. So I've learned a lot while designing some of these coins. So
that's pretty cool.
I think that's about it. Now, remember, if you have any comments, also, or any questions, or if you have a cache that you want to demo or send us an email at gadgettalkpodcast@gmail.com, or you can always connect with us on Instagram at Gadget Talk Podcast. I love to see what you guys got. And if I believe Tom's probably already said it, smush that like button up there and give us a heart. And just thanks for joining us tonight. And we will see you next week here on Gadget Talk. See you, everybody.